12 News at 6. Final jury selection underway in the Parkland school shooter sentencing trial after a series of delays. The next steps before opening arguments begin next month.
Plus, a community searching for answers following the death of a woman in Riviera Beach.
My mindset is just, why again? This has happened far too many times in the community.
The evidence police are trying to piece together in two different neighborhoods.
And the tropics are heating up right in time for us to roll into July. I'm meteorologist Zach Covey. We're tracking three systems in the Atlantic. The one that could develop next and where it's headed. That's coming up. CBS 12 News this morning starts now.
It's a new day. This is CBS 12 News this morning.
Good morning. The next named system, as you heard Zach say, in the Atlantic, hurricane season could develop within days. Good morning. I'm Terry Hornstein.
And I'm Sam Kerrigan. Right now, we are keeping an eye on three areas of development in the Atlantic.
Yeah, so Zach, the good news here is this new system not really expected to impact South Florida.
No, and that is the good news. I don't think any of the systems, any of the three systems that we are watching in the Atlantic are heading here. So, take a deep breath collectively. I know we're all kind of worried about the tropics, especially after the last system, which became Tropical Storm Alex after it moved through at the very start of June, kind of rolled through our area. You see Invest 94E in the Pacific. We don't need to worry about that. 95L in the Gulf. Potential Tropical Cyclone 2 right there, and an area to watch, another African wave right behind it. If you're saying, wow, it seems kind of early for these African waves to start developing, you're right. We don't typically see this until early August, these type of waves coming off of Africa, but sure enough, we are right now. Two of those systems are considered a low threat, but again, not to Florida, just a low threat to human life, as they will likely bring some impacts. PTC2 is going to be the biggest impact, in my opinion, grazing South America and then working its way into Central America. We'll talk more about PTC2 coming up in the tropical update in about 10 minutes. Locally this morning, some nice cloud cover rolling onshore and a couple of showers and storms off of the coastline, but much of your drive into work this morning should be nice and dry. We'll have daytime highs today, upper 80s to around 90. It'll feel even hotter with the humidity, guys, near 100. And some afternoon storms. We'll break down the timing and the threats those storms bring. That's coming up in just a bit. Guys.
Thank you, Zach. 6:03 right now. Let's take a look at that Wednesday morning drive. Vero Beach to Stewart, 36 minutes for you there on I-95. No problems along the Treasure Coast. Meanwhile, Traffic Tracker 12 cruising along I-95 heading north in the northern Palm Beach County area this morning. Everything running smoothly in both directions.
That's how we like to see it on a Wednesday. In just hours, we're expected to have the final jurors selected for the sentencing trial of the Parkland school shooter. 12 potential jurors, 7 men and 5 women have been picked. The group includes a probation officer, a legal assistant, a librarian, and a supervisor at Walmart. The judge will work to pick 8 to 10 alternates. She hopes to get all jurors selected and sworn in by today to get the sentencing trial underway. Those jurors will recommend to the judge if Nikolas Cruz should get the death penalty or spend life in prison. Cruz pleaded guilty last year to killing 17 people at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School back in 2018. Jurors will return to court on July 18th for opening arguments.
Jeffrey Epstein's associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, will spend 20 years in prison for her role in helping sexually abuse underage girls. Prosecutors say she helped recruit and groom girls and teens to engage in massages and sexual activity with Epstein at his home in Palm Beach. An attorney from West Palm Beach who represented 9 of Epstein's victims says Maxwell got what she deserved.
I think at the end of the day, what this sentence does is it shows you that no one is beyond reproach. This sentence shows you that no matter your wealth or station in life, that you can be and will be convicted for your crimes and put behind bars, hopefully for the rest of your life.
Maxwell's attorneys say they plan to appeal the judge's decision. She was convicted in December on sex trafficking and other charges. She denies abusing anyone. Epstein was indicted on federal sex trafficking charges in July of 2019, but he committed suicide in his prison cell.
A Treasure Coast man who killed 5 people in a fiery crash in 2018 will spend more than 72 years in prison. Officials say Tanner Dashner, man you see here, had a blood alcohol level more than 3 times the legal limit at the time of the crash in Fort Pierce. Investigators say he was behind the wheel when his SUV slammed into the back of a car going around 97 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. Dashner was found guilty on 5 counts of DUI manslaughter.
6:05 right now, and we have new information this morning about a shooting and a crash in Riviera Beach. Police were called to a shooting on Avenue E near Servants Heart Restoration Center. Then they were also called to a crash just a few blocks away off Broadway and West 24th Street near Shallow Memorial Park. Family members tell CBS 12 News 41-year-old Zaki Poole died after what they say started as a chase and ended with a shooting and crash. Right now, it's still unclear if Poole died as a result of the crash or if she was shot. A nonprofit called Mothers Against Murderers say these incidents are far too familiar in the community.
My mindset is just, why again? This has happened far too many times in the community. It could have been anything. The kids could have walked outside on a field trip. We just got to be more vigilant in our community about what we want.
Police have yet to say if they're looking for suspects, but Williams, who you just heard from, is urging the community to let the police know if you have any information that might help investigators.
This morning, the legality surrounding abortion is in motion across the country as state and local lawmakers move to solidify their positions. Tomorrow, a judge is expected to issue a ruling on abortion rights here in Florida. The state's 15-week abortion ban is set to take effect on Friday. Reproductive health care providers are calling on a judge to block the ban, which has no exception for rape or incest.
Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra says his department has been planning for the high court's decision to strike down Roe v. Wade for some time. He unveiled the Biden administration's action plan, which includes increasing access to abortion medication, ensuring privacy for patients and providers, and directing Medicare and Medicaid to protect family planning services, including emergency and long-acting contraceptives. But right now, there are still no details on how exactly the Biden administration will implement its plan.
And this morning, the Biden administration says the federal government will send out nearly 300,000 more monkeypox vaccines in the coming weeks. Testing will also get easier with commercial labs getting more of a supply. The goal here is to stop the spread of the virus in the areas that have been most affected. Right now, there are more than 300 cases in the U.S., 27 of them right here in Florida.
The Food and Drug Administration's panel of independent vaccine experts voted to recommend new COVID-19 shots specifically for the Omicron variant. Health experts say this could give more protection against the virus this fall when they expect a new wave of infections. The panel did not make a recommendation on which Omicron subvariant the shots should target, but the FDA will likely accept the committee's recommendation and authorize a vaccine change.
Time right now, 6:08. Still ahead on CBS 12 News at 6. Bombshell testimony on Capitol Hill. The claims former President Donald Trump lunged towards his security detail the day of the Capitol insurrection.
The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel.
The words from the woman working just steps away from the president on how she says the White House was warned about the chaos.
And health experts are out with a warning this morning about protecting your hearing around fireworks this 4th of July. Next, the damage these loud explosives can cause and the signs to look out for if you start experiencing hearing loss.
And let's take a live look outside right here at Lake Worth Beach. It's a gorgeous start to our Wednesday. The time right now, 6:09. Stay with us right here on CBS 12 News this morning. We'll be right back.